King Charles shocks. Camilla with unexpected decision. The royal family is divided. Power, loyalty, and ambition. What happens when these trio collide at the very top? It can shake even Buckingham Palace. Like now, King Charles has made a shocking decision that's left Queen Camilla completely blindsided. After months of whispers and hidden tensions, the king has finally drawn the line. Has Camilla overstepped her power? And is this the moment that changes everything for the monarchy? Because insiders reveal a growing crack within the royal family, one that could reshape the future of the crown forever. So, what did King Charles do? Why is Camilla reeling? And most importantly, what does this mean for the royal succession? Stay with us as we uncover the truth behind this bombshell decision and the power struggle playing out behind palace doors. Number 1. Queen Camilla's secret move. Queen Camilla, the woman who went from being the most controversial figure in the royal drama to wearing the ultimate crown, pulled off a quiet but surprising power move. She managed to take control of a historic royal villa without making a big public sensation. Now, that might not sound like a big deal at first, but here's why it's actually unexpected. For centuries, royal homes have been passed down through strict traditions, usually staying with certain family lines or being controlled by the crown. Nobody just walks in and claims a piece of royal history like it's a vacation home. But Camilla? She did exactly that. While most people were focused on King Charles and his new role, she was making moves behind the scenes, securing her hold over the estate. This wasn't just about real estate, it was a major shift in royal power. Normally, properties like these go through endless layers of royal approval, with strict rules about who gets to live where. But Camilla sidestepped those rules, proving that she wasn't just Charles's wife, she was carving out her own authority. This went directly against the old-fashioned way things had always been done. And the best part? She did it so smoothly that most people didn't even notice. One moment, it was just another historic royal home, and the next, it was under her control. And such a thing happened in the royal villa as never before. Number 2. The role of the historic royal villa. A royal estate is full of history, where every corner has seen important events, love, and secrets that help shape the nation. Now, imagine someone coming in and deciding to change it, sell it, or use it for something else entirely. That's exactly why Princess Anne and other royals are outraged. To them, it's not just land or a collection of fancy buildings. It's their history, their family's legacy, something that shouldn't be touched or altered because it carries the weight of centuries. It's where ancestors ruled, where history was made, where traditions were born. To lose it would be like tearing pages out of a history book and tossing them away. Think about this. The world's oldest inhabited castle has been standing strong for nearly 1,000 years. That's 10 whole centuries of kings, queens, and royal dramas. These places aren't just old, they're proof of how civilizations grew, survived, and changed over time. Some might argue, well, times are different now, why does it even matter? But imagine if someone decided to sell or tear down something like the Great Pyramids, the Taj Mahal, or the Colosseum in Rome. People would be furious, and they should be. Because these places aren't just bricks and stones. They are echoes of the past, reminders of where we came from, of people who lived before us, of how we got here. And history has proven that once something this valuable is gone, it's gone forever. No amount of money or regret can bring it back. Number 3. Princess Anne's outrage. Let's be honest, if there's one person in the royal family who doesn't shy away from speaking her mind, it's Anne. She has spent decades being the no-nonsense, duty-first, tradition-loving force in the monarchy. So when she caught wind of Camilla making a decision that rubbed against royal customs, she didn't just sit back and sip her tea, she let her outrage be known. Anne has always been a firm believer in the old ways of doing things. She grew up watching her mother, Queen Elizabeth II, uphold traditions that had been in place for centuries. To her, these weren't just silly rules. They were the backbone of what made the royal family special. So when Camilla, now Queen, started pushing for changes that Anne believed would weaken those traditions, she reportedly made her disapproval loud and clear. One of the biggest points of tension was Camilla's role itself. Once upon a time, the idea of her even being called Queen would have been unthinkable. The public was told she would only be a princess consort, out of respect for Diana's legacy. But then, things changed. titles were adjusted, history was rewritten, and suddenly, Camilla was queen. To Anne, who has always seen duty as more important than personal wants, this probably felt like a betrayal of the original plan. This isn't the first time Anne has been known for her strong opinions. She once famously refused royal titles for her children, saying they should carve their own paths. She was also the first British royal to compete in the Olympics, proving that she wasn't just about sitting in palaces and waving at crowds. So when someone like her, who has dedicated her entire life to serving the crown, sees changes that she believes go against everything she stands for, it's no surprise that she would speak up. There's also the fact that Anne and Camilla come from two very different worlds. Anne is the daughter of a queen, raised in the strictest royal traditions, while Camilla, despite being aristocratic, was never originally meant for the throne. Their relationship has always been polite, but not particularly close. So when Camilla started making her mark on the monarchy, Anne did not hesitate to push back. Number 4. Tensions behind palace doors. The royal family might seem perfect from the outside, as if they've got everything figured out, but just like any other family, they've got their issues. Prince William, who is next in line to be king, is apparently getting more and more involved in these discussions. And when you have people who've been in the royal family for years, like his father, Prince Charles, and his younger brother, Prince Harry, things can get pretty tense when everyone has different views on how things should be done. What's surprising is that these reports have been making headlines all over the world. The royals, who are often seen as the epitome of calm and control, are showing a side that's more relatable than anyone thought. Sometimes it's hard to believe, but even the people in charge of a whole country can argue and not see eye to eye. So, who knows what's really going on behind those palace doors? Number 5. King Charles's shocking intervention. It all started when something happened that really didn't sit well with a lot of people in his family. His wife Camilla was in the spotlight, but not for good reasons. People were unhappy with how some things were going and started talking about it, especially behind closed doors. Now, Charles, being the king, usually has a lot of power to do whatever he wants, right? But here's the twist. Even though he could have just let things slide, he couldn't ignore the fact that his family wasn't happy. Imagine trying to juggle what you want and what others want when they're really upset, and you know you have to make a decision that could change everything. So King Charles did something shocking. He overruled Camilla on a decision that had caused all the tension. It wasn't easy, especially since they've been through so much together. But he had no choice. His family's frustration was growing, and Charles had to take charge to stop things from getting worse. Number 6. Is Queen Camilla's influence crumbling? So, there's been a lot of talk recently about Queen Camilla, and some people are wondering if her influence is starting to fade. You know, for a long time, she wasn't exactly everyone's favorite person. It's not hard to see why, and there's been some new stuff happening that's got people thinking, is her power in the royal family starting to slip? One big thing that caught people's attention was a recent decision made by King Charles. He's the one in charge, but he made a move that felt like Camilla wasn't as important as people thought she was. A lot of eyes are on the royal family because of stuff like this. It's like when your parents make a decision that you don't fully understand, you wonder if something is changing behind the scenes. Let's not forget the past, either. There have been plenty of times before this when people questioned her place in the monarchy. Some of it goes back to her relationship with Charles, which caused a lot of drama in the past. But some people even think her title of Queen is something she doesn't deserve, especially after everything that happened with Princess Diana. To add to this, in a poll done a while ago, only around 20% of people said they truly liked her. So, with the latest decisions and changes happening in the royal family, it's making everyone wonder if Camilla's influence is starting to crumble just a little. Number 7. The royal family's growing divide. This whole thing started to get more serious after Queen Elizabeth passed away. Everyone expected Charles to become the king, which he did, but not everyone was on the same page with him and Camilla. Some royal family members, especially Prince Harry and his wife Meghan, have made it very clear they don't feel very close to Charles and Camilla. In fact, Harry has even talked about how he feels left out and like things are just not right anymore in the family. It's almost like when you have two friends who don't get along, and then they start pulling other people into it. That's what's happening with the royals. Now, if we look back in history, the royals have always had problems like this. There were huge fights in the past, like when King Henry VIII wanted to marry someone else and had to make big changes to the way England worked, or when Princess Diana had her own struggles with Charles, which became a massive public issue. The difference now is that the fights are being seen by the entire world, thanks to social media and TV. The shocking part is that this isn't just about a family argument, it's about a whole country watching the drama unfold. And even more surprising is that the royals, who are supposed to represent unity and tradition, are becoming more divided than ever before. Number 8. Public reaction, support or backlash. When it first happened, a lot of people were shocked. It's like when you see your favorite TV character doing something unexpected, and it leaves you stunned. Some people were quick to defend the royal family, saying they should be given privacy and respect, just like anyone else. They pointed out that the royals do a lot of charity work, so they should be treated with kindness. These supporters were loud on social media, posting messages like, "Leave them alone," and everyone makes mistakes. But on the other hand, there were a lot of people who weren't too happy. Some felt like the scandal was a betrayal of the public's trust. They thought, wait, if you're a famous family, you should always set a good example. Polls showed that the number of people unhappy with the royal family grew after the news broke, with some reports saying that public trust in them dropped by as much as 30%. Interestingly, social media also showed a clear split. Many young people shared memes or even jokes about the scandal, making light of the whole situation, while older generations seemed to care more deeply and took sides in a more serious way. In the end, public reactions are all over the place. Some people still love the royals and believe they should be given a break, while others think it's time for them to face consequences. Number 9. The future of King Charles' reign. So King Charles has been the king for a while now, and people are really curious about what kind of king he will be. He's the first king in a long time to take over after such a famous queen, his mother, Queen Elizabeth. That's a lot of pressure, right? But Charles has always done things his way, and this could turn out to be what really shapes his legacy, or how he's remembered as king. One of the big questions on everyone's mind is how Charles will handle his relationship with his wife, Camilla. Some people have wondered if they will work together smoothly, or if there will be struggles between them. Well, it turns out that Charles has sometimes shown that he doesn't mind stepping up to keep Camilla in the background when necessary. Think about how Charles and Camilla have already made history. She's the first woman to ever hold the title of queen, alongside a king who is not a reigning queen herself, making it clear that things in this monarchy are changing. And Charles has even done things his own way, like supporting causes no one else in the royal family has really taken on, like climate change and the environment. Some people were shocked by how open he is about these issues, considering how much power the royal family holds. It's too early to tell how all of this will turn out, but if Charles keeps this up, people might remember him for being a bit different from the kings who came before him. Number 10. Will Queen Camilla retaliate? But first off, let's be real. Camilla is no ordinary royal. She's not someone who's just going to roll over and take it if something doesn't sit right with her. Now, Camilla is really clever. She might not be as flashy or loud as other royals, but she's got a deep understanding of the system and the people around her. So if Charles made a decision she didn't like, there are a few things she could potentially do to push back and regain some of her influence. For one, Camilla could start quietly gaining support from other people in the royal circle, or even from the public. She's got friends, and she's been in the royal game long enough to know who to talk to. She could even use the media to her advantage. It's not just about shouting louder than Charles. It's about being smart and making her voice heard in ways that don't look like an outright fight. There's also the possibility that Camilla could turn to her personal influence with key figures. The Queen has always been seen as the strong backbone of the family, and Camilla has spent years learning the ropes of how to quietly control things without making a scene. Now, let's talk numbers for a moment. Did you know that Camilla's popularity has really gone up in recent years? In 2021, studies showed that nearly 50% of the UK public had a positive view of her, and that's a big deal. This rise in popularity gives her a powerful tool, public opinion. If she ever needed to shift the balance, she could easily do it by working with the media and showing her influence over time. Number 11. What this means for the monarchy's future. And you know how when a family fights over something important, like Who gets the biggest piece of cake? It makes everyone uncomfortable. The monarchy, which is the family that rules, depends a lot on people believing that they are strong and united. When a big fight happens, especially when it's in front of everyone, it makes people wonder if they are really the best people to lead. Think about it. Would you want a leader who can't get along with their own family? That might make you doubt their ability to make important decisions for the country. Some studies have even shown that when there's drama within a royal family, public support can drop significantly. Now, not all hope is lost. Sometimes people remember the good things the monarchy has done in the past and stay loyal. But there's a danger. If the family keeps fighting or if they don't seem strong, the public might start to question if they need a monarchy at all. People might start thinking that maybe it's time for change, especially when they see leaders of other countries who seem more organized and united. If the monarchy doesn't find a way to stay strong and united, they could lose a lot of respect from the public, and that could change everything. Number 12. What happens next? The royal family, especially Charles and Camilla, are right in the middle of it. If things go badly, they might need to make some big decisions. People are wondering what they'll do next. Some believe Charles will have to show more leadership, and maybe even change how things are done in the family. Others think Camilla might step up and play a bigger role since she's already taken on a lot of responsibilities. What's crazy is that royal families have faced tough times before, like when King Henry VIII made big changes to the church. No one really knows for sure what will happen, but there's a chance that things could get really different. Maybe some of their roles will shift. Some experts say this could make them closer to the people, like a new kind of royal family. However, the pressure is huge, and how they act could change the way we see them forever. It's a wild situation with lots of twists, and it's hard to predict what they'll do next, but one thing's for sure, the world will be watching. So, King Charles's decision has left the royal family divided, and the consequences could reshape history. What's your take on his move? Was it justified? Or is Camilla being unfairly treated? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and of course, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss out on more videos like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.